There are a lot of people willing to let racism ruin their own lives just to ensure that Black people don't achieve any real material changes or political power.
Are you on? Which side are you on?
Caller, this is a caller from a 256 area code. Caller from a 256 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's your Labor Council colleague, Whitney,
Ah,
calling from Huntsville.
yes, Whitney from
yeah.
Huntsville. Yeah, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I woke up a little late, so I'm still catching up on the interview and stuff. I thought it was interesting. I'm really glad you guys got him on as a host. I will say, as a Black progressive living in the South, I have a really complicated relationship with the Democrats. They have been an essentially non-functioning party since I've been a voter, which is 20 years now. And it is not specific to Alabama. I've lived in other states and worked closely with the Democratic Party. It is nationally an issue. But Alabama does seem to have its own specific issues. I definitely don't want to discount some of his observations about race. I absolutely do believe that there are a lot of people willing to let racism ruin their own lives just to ensure that Black people don't achieve any real material changes or political power. With that said, there are also a lot of white people who are willing to vote if given the option. I think regardless of where Joe Reed stands on a lot of things, or what his reasoning is behind these things, is that the party has failed us. Last year or this year in Huntsville, there's absolutely no reason there shouldn't have been a Democrat on the ballot in Huntsville, a city that got Maryland, or in a region that got Maryland Lands elected to the state house. There was no one running against my federal U.S. rep this year. There just should be names on a ballot. And I think more than anything, if you think of that as the job of the Democratic Party, then it is failing. I think obviously we should be trying to build Black political power for working people. But whatever they're doing right now is not working for anyone. And I would seriously consider why nothing is happening. I think it's very frustrating to hear him dismiss, some of these criticisms that people have been bringing forward for a while now, especially as we've seen other places be able to more consistently get Democrats on the ballot, even in red states like Tennessee and Kentucky. Alabama is just having very specific to Alabama issues. And I hate to see the legacy of the party fall. Like I said, as a Black Democrat, I think, or as a Black person, my relationship to the Democrats is very conflicted, because it is been one of the only ways that my generation, my parents' generation, their parents' generation has been able to achieve any sort of political power in this country. But also at this point within the state, that is no longer happening. And I would really encourage their leadership to assess why. At this point, I don't really identify as a Democrat, but I've been working in politics for a decade, and I've been consistently well, we got to sort of work with them to get something resembling progress on the ballot, or to get people to have something to vote for. And because that has not happened, I absolutely have no attachment to the party anymore. Which is terrible to say. But like for the first time in my life, I'm like really considering like what other options are there for getting progressive candidates on the ballot, for getting progressive policies passed, and not really like immediately considering the Democratic Party. And I would imagine that there's a lot of people in that boat as well. And I am likely like Joe Reed's ideal voter, like a Black college educated Democrat from Alabama, and like he's lost me. So I would really encourage some reflection from him and the rest of the leadership. Yeah, that's all, guys.
Well, thanks for calling in, Whitney. I appreciate your thoughts, and maybe he'll hear this, and hopefully they. I mean, it is so, like you said, frustrating that it does not seem that the introspection is self-started. You know, at least at the national level, there is some play acting about introspection, right? And they, you know, in a certain way, you could say they barely lost the election. And yet there's still a lot of at least play acting about introspecting and what can we do differently and why are we out of step with the American people. And there's like none of that in Alabama, despite the fact that Alabama is so much worse for Democrats. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, how do you not actually do that kind of level of introspection every single election that you come out having lost to Republicans by 35 points? You know, I don't know.
Well, Jacob,
it doesn't even seem like they have a good relationship with like the National Party, which I think is interesting and also revealing, because like the National Party is also terrible. And if they are like not messing with Alabama Democrats, I think that probably like tells you something about the shape that we're in.
Yeah. Thanks, Whitney. I appreciate it.
Okay, good luck.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.